We are streaming. Is this working? Yeah. All right, good. We're back. Welcome back to the Collins Show. It's been a bit, maybe like a month or something. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter because we're doing the show again. Here we are. The topic today is gonna be psychosis. Some familiar territory on this show. We talked about mental illness and we talked about weirdos, but let's just make it a little more specific. Psychosis. What is it? What is that? Dude, I think this audience will have deep, deep personal insights into psychosis, whether it's something you've experienced yourself or if you've had some friends or family that have dealt with that, and I just want to talk about it. I want to figure out what the hell is going on with people. What the hell's going on in those freaking psycho brains? Why can't you just chill out, dude? Why can't you just take it easy? Smoke some weed, dude. That can make people psycho, actually. I went psycho briefly on some of that green weed. Not fully psycho, but it was enough. It gave me a taste. I got up at 3 in the morning a couple weeks ago, and couldn't get back to sleep. So I took a toke off the dank herb, as one does, and immediately lost my mind. Immediately went to crazy land. I was blaming the weed at first, the specific strains. I never understand the difference between. I don't want to get into all like a deep weed discussion, so I'll just never mind. But I just immediately fully believed that I was not me, or that there was an alien or some sort of being in a far off place, not even maybe the universe, but somewhere far, far away, and they were controlling my body and everything that I did. And it was like the point of it, the point of me, the point of Earth is that it's just a big like reality show for a bunch of aliens to watch, and like they watch all of us, and they got like they've got some sort of system for understanding all of our flaws, and so it's just like it's a really funny show because it's like they see exactly what our problems are, and then they can just laugh every time that we screw up. They laugh at all our human follies, and I couldn't escape this thought process, so I was like, I just have to go to bed. I just gotta sleep this off because I don't want to deal. I don't want to get down this rabbit hole of the aliens and what they think is funny in my life. But it was even hard to sleep. I couldn't sleep because I would close my eyes to stop seeing weird things in the real world, but then I could just see the inside of my eyelids. It was like there's no escape. And then I was also scared to just go to sleep because I don't want to I don't want to be unconscious. I don't ever want to be unconscious. If the aliens could just, I don't want to be off in dreamland if they're gonna be fricking up my dreams. They're gonna be making me do weird stuff in my dreams. At least in reality, I can stop myself from doing things theoretically. Anyway, so it felt like being psycho. I don't know because I've never gone the full. I've never gone all the way, but I felt like I could have at that 3 a.m. Juncture. It felt like I could just embrace it and say yes. In fact, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to find out who these aliens are, what they're talking about, what they're trying to tell me, and I made a conscious choice to not do that. I said to myself, no. That's what happens to crazy people. They get that feeling and then they're like, this is the real thing, and I've got to follow this to its logical conclusion, which all too often is like setting yourself on fire or blowing up something or that sort of thing. So me and my ultimate wisdom decided, no, I'm not going to let the aliens win. I'm going to bed. So anyway, we're going to be taking calls about this topic. Again, it doesn't have to be your own personal psychosis thing. It could just be about people you know or just about psychosis in general. Maybe we can solve it by the end of today. Maybe we can just solve it and cure everyone of psychosis. Or maybe we'll find out that is the real deal and that we are all living the lie. We are dancing the aliens' jig. We are their puppets. I haven't been able to shake this alien thing since it happened, I gotta tell you. I'm starting to integrate it into my normal brain routines, and I don't know, it's scary. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with this information. I don't know do I want to please the aliens? Do I want to stick it to the aliens? Are they on my side? I don't know. We can talk more about it later. I gotta turn to this stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna open up the calls here in just a minute. All the music from this stream that we were just listening to and for the remainder of the stream is from an artist called Golden Furniture. I discovered them just a few weeks ago on their SoundCloud. They've also got a Bandcamp. I've linked the Bandcamp to the album that we're going to be listening to in this stream in the description of this video. That album is called Lawnmower Community by Golden Furniture. So yeah, if you're enjoying the music on the stream, click on that Bandcamp link in the description of this video and you will find that there. How do it's been so long since I did the call-in show. Okay, here we go. Call in now. You can call in now. The number is 518-288-7938. I think that this is all hooked up properly. After 1 month, I forget how everything works. But I think this is good. Sorry if you can hear like the buzzing and sawing going on outside. That's the aliens. Who's this?
Call from.
That likes to read.
Oh, hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I thought I did it. Oh, hello?
Doing today, amigo?
Oh, dude, how you doing?
All right, is the call quality okay for you?
Yeah, sounds great. All right, so we're talking psychosis today.
Man.
Are you psycho, or do you know someone psycho?
Much about being personally psycho apart from my own psychedelic experiences, but I've been reading a lot of books that have been touching on this topic, so I figured I could call in.
Okay, please give us some info.
I have much to say pulling out my ass other than just the things I've been reading have been seeming to point that it's connected to just about everything is the shortest way I can put it, and how seemingly these people with psychosis might be onto something, how they might be seeing something that regular folk aren't. The matter of them translating how they're feeling and what they're getting. Are they crazy or do they make sense? Are they clairvoyant or are they seeing whatever's going on in their head?
This is probably the big question of the stream. What do you think? Is it something? Is there some sort of just they're unable to communicate?
It's a matter of mistranslation.
Mm-hmm.
They are, in fact, getting something. They're seeing something. It's too real. There's too many people out there who are too dedicated, who are too committed to these crazy fucking ideas, whoever it may be, whether it's John Smith, the crackhead that lives on the corner, or Mother Teresa, the clairvoyant who takes $5 for fucking card readings down the street. Like, hey, they're both getting the same input, but they're both to it differently. Whereas even you or I could get these same inputs, but it's not so intense.
And if we get it, we might just push it away. It might be like, whoa, that's crazy. I don't want to go down that path.
An example of something that's coming to you, that's being given to you from another, call them aliens, because that's the joke we're at, right? They're aliens. So let's just, because we don't know, fuck it, they're aliens, right? These aliens give you things every day. In a scenario, you're with a group of friends at a table and you're eating and you're all talking. Mm-hmm. And joke, and it kills all of those friends. They're dying laughing. But the thing is that you didn't think of that joke. It just came to you, right? That happens to everybody. It just came to you. What needed to happen came when it needed to happen at that moment. It was given to you. You didn't think about it. The aliens gave you that.
Mm.
We'll get more and see more, and they translate it differently. That's what I believe. To this, I've been maybe 9 books deep. I've been this for months, and it's stupid.
You're in fucking psycho land, dude. Don't deny it.
Slightly, just slightly. Yeah, a little bit. I can't help it though, man, because some of the shit makes sense when you ask yourself questions like why do happen to good people. These books tend to give answers.
I mean, so that's what leads me down the psychopath, and what I stop myself from going deep into this line of thought is the why, is the what and the why. Like, what is it and why is it that would happen?
Life is figuring itself out. Our brains are capable something as vast and as glorious as the universe, where we can acknowledge the fact that it's infinite or it's like beyond comprehension, yet for our little brain cases, this little fucking meat sponge that we have, it's entirely capable of the imaginative process to capture all the infinite, but within our own skulls. I think that's amazing, and there's a lot more to our cognitive being and existing than like we take credit for. Science likes to think it knows a lot, but we know this.
Science seems to know, the Dr. Science, whoever he is, seems to know very little about the brain in general. Like,
the homage to where it comes from. The scientific theory comes from Kevin Bacon, who is deeply rooted in esoteric shit. Like, the first
Kevin
major
Bacon?
science was that of psychology. Yeah, the scientific method. Kevin Bacon.
Isn't that Francis Bacon?
Like in science, was it Kevin? It might have been Francis. You could be right. My brain's like all over the place, and I woke up an hour ago, and then you put on this stream that was mistitled, so like I wasn't expecting a call in, so I blame you.
Dude, so this call-in show, this is the problem with getting too psycho, is that everything is connected and everything is reflexive and all this shit. It's like I made this call-in show specifically so you would call in and be the first caller. But I didn't.
I don't know.
Not that I know of, but it's like if you're going into full crazy mode, then it's hard to. You can never have anything be a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason.
It's true, and this is also the big warning about these books that I've been reading. Beginning what the fuck do they call it? I think like serpent's fire up the spine. I'm reading a lot of the world's religions, and I think right now I'm referring to Buddhist shit, but
Okay.
Something to realize is that all paths lead to the same destination. Talking about crazy Billy Bob Joe Bob talking about numerology and wanting to pull your numbers and like talk about all this crazy conspiracy theories, or you're talking about Christian Joe Schmo who goes to church every Sunday, seem to point towards the same thing.
And what is that?
Kind of unity, a sense of unity where they're connected to something else that brings them make you feel calm. It can make you feel at peace, joy, bliss, nirvana, whatever you call it. You know, there's something people are always reaching for, and it seems to be the things they talk about are that external, the thing they're reaching for, that happiness, because it's almost like a part of the human condition to always be upset, you know? Like, you could, everything you ever wanted, if you got it today, do you really think it would make you happy if you just had it?
I'm sure I'd find something else to complain about.
And it's like the human condition. You can't. It's.
You can be happy when you're dead.
For each of us. Possibly.
I mean, that seems like the big togetherness thing when you're dead with all the dead stuff. I mean, I don't know. I can't get it. But hey, thank you for talking to me about this. This is a cool discussion.
I hope I stirred some nuggets in your brain. I want to say 2 things for any listeners out there. Step 1, Mark Booth's Secret History of the World. Step 2, Alice Bailey, The Light of the Soul. I hope you guys have a good one.
All right, hell yeah. Have a good one, dude. Bye.
Call from
Clarence!
Clarence!
Yeah, hey!
You're a psycho, of course.
Yeah, dude, I actually have something to say about this.
Okay.
So I'm a psycho. Thanks for opening with that.
No, this
So
is
I
a
usually,
friendly guy, normal friendly guy.
I'm a little too awake, you know?
So what's up? What happened?
So I actually, these strange things started happening to me about like 5 years ago, and I realized that if I talk about it, everyone just calls me psycho. So I don't talk about it with like people I
Perfect.
know, right?
Yeah, let's hear.
All right, and this is gonna sound crazy, but this is real, okay?
Okay.
All sentient consciousness is connected, and they can communicate and interact with each other through a shared dream world.
How
You
do
get
we?
where I'm going with this?
No, not yet. I was gonna ask questions, but if you want to keep going, go ahead.
Yeah, so these dream worlds, they're like tests to get into them, make sure you're responsible, make sure you can control your thoughts and your consciousness. But yeah, once you break through, you just get to like hang out with all these cool like entities every night. It's awesome, dude.
All right, Clarence, you are going to have to give us some details and specifics on what the hell you're talking about. Is this dreams? So you're just going to sleep? What are the tests? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
So have you ever had that moment in a dream where you like look at your hands or something and there's like a limbo moment where you're like, I could become conscious in this dream, or I could just kind of go back to sleep and just follow the flow of the dream? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Very vaguely.
Well, yeah, you'll
Well,
have,
let's
and
assume
it's
that I
different for
do.
everyone. But step one is lucid dreaming and getting like kind of good at it. You don't have to be professional. I'm not like good at it really. I don't do it every night.
Are there
It comes and
professional
goes,
lucid
but-
dreamers?
You know, I don't know. You get paid to sleep. I don't know.
All right. So is this something you've trained yourself to do?
Yeah, somewhat. So about like 4 or 5 years ago is when I was finally able to start accessing shared like dream world. And whether you know it or not, you've been there too. Everyone's been there when they sleep. They touch the dream world a little bit, and then
The
they usually just
shared-
retreat back into their own mind.
Okay. So wait. So just for clarification, there's a separation. There's an individual dream world, and then beyond that, there's a shared dream world.
Yeah, exactly. You have your own like mind that you can play around in. But once you start understanding how these things work, you can reach out to just like a casual lobby filled with libraries and temples and like water parks and airships, and
Whoa.
it's crazy, dude.
All right. So what do you do when you're in the shared dream world? I assume you've been there. You're talking about it.
I've been there a few times. I've been there maybe a dozen times. You really just hang out and try to absorb, because there's people and things, entities, aliens, whatever you want to call them, right? That are really good at this and can just get there every night. You know, I can't, and I have been practicing this for years, but I can't get there like every night, right? But I have been there, and basically I just try to chill and absorb as much knowledge as I can.
Do people in the shared dream world, do they explain to you? Is there like a guy who comes up to you when you get there? He's like, oh shit, you made it to the shared dream world. This is what this is? Or do you just have an understanding of it when you're there?
You kind of just have an understanding of it, and it's not really words that are you don't like speak like I'm speaking to you right now. You like, it's like telepathic. You're communicating like abstract ideas. And a lot of it's just vibes.
It's a good thing then. You never had a bad experience. You never got like ganged up on in the dream world and had something bad happen?
It's pretty easy to lose connection, or just straight up get kicked out. Because if you're bringing bad vibes, you're just going to get kicked out, or they're going to zone you. They're going to wall you off from the rest of it.
Wow. You can get kicked from the dream world?
I don't know if they can exactly kick you. I mean, I guess if you got good enough at it and went in there with malicious intent, they'd probably just like block you off. zone you out, make you feel like a second is 1,000 years, and you just have to watch like C-rated movies forever.
Well, and Clarence, to wrap this up and to make you sound as crazy as we can, what is this dream world? What is the point? Who owns it? Who's running this thing? What's it running on? What kind of software? Just what information do you have in your mind about the dream world?
So no one owns it. No one runs it. There's infinite space. You don't need resources. You don't need to eat, right?
Okay.
Like, if you wanted to, you could just think of a sick mansion and it would just appear, and you just hang out in it.
Mm.
Like
are dead people in there? Is it everything ever, or is it just things that are alive?
What I think it is a link between all consciousness, like throughout the whole universe. So I think, I don't know if dead people are necessarily there, because I don't know what happens to dead people's consciousness.
Okay.
But it's not like a stable, permanent place. It's very fluid, because it's based on consciousness and the thoughts of those residing there and the intent of those that are in and out of it at the time. So it's a very like fluid, amorphous, constantly changing place.
Do you think if there was a real veteran of this shared dream world who did have malicious intent, that they could take you into the dream world, pretend to be your friend, and then just make you crazy overnight? You wake up a total lunatic and have no more grounding left in the world.
Maybe. I'm going to say yeah. I'm not saying it couldn't happen.
You scared of that? I would be scared of that.
No, not at all, because you can't, from my experience, you can't exactly lie in the dream world or like mask your intentions.
I see.
Because it's so just like
you're just fully psychic with everybody.
Like conscious connection, like consciousness connecting and bouncing off of itself and others. It's crazy, dude. Anyway, all stories are one stories. Check out my YouTube channel, Critical Clay, Frankenstein Flow. Bye.
All right, bye, Clarence.
Call from
Sam, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. We are talking about psychosis today. What did you want to talk about in relation to that?
I think I've probably had a few experiences that overlaps with that. I'll give a brief background. I won't spend too much time talking about myself. Maybe like in 2019, I was 17 years old, and I actually did acid before I did weed. I was like super against weed for a while. Like, like I said, acid, just whatever. And of course, you have experiences with that, seeing God, thinking you're a God, and questioning what everything is. And then I'm not sure if you're familiar with like this dude from like the 1960s, Ram Dass. He used to be like a professor for, I want to say, Harvard. But then he started giving like the students acid. So like, just trying to like test it on them, I guess. I don't know. But it's starting into his work. He did like speeches and stuff all over America over the 60s. And, he went to India, came back and said like, this is the way, this is like what we are, who we are, and stuff like that. And I was like super deep into that stuff. But the point is, since then, I, 17 years old, thinking I was enlightened or whatever, ended up moving out, getting my own place, and this is kind of a PSA to everyone else who think they know what the truth is, or try to really get to the truth. That's not going to get you laid. You gotta relax. You gotta just it's a party, loosen up. Sure, we might all be the same being. We might all be it might all be one. Maybe everything is pointing to the same shit, right? But juice is good, food is good, sex is good, weed is good. Just turn your brain off for a second at least. Especially if you're around my age, early 20s. That's not it, Chief. Just loosen up. That's all I want to say.
The wisdom you learned from doing acid and being a guy who's preaching the world is one for a while and it not working out? Or did you learn this specifically on acid, that you got to just chill out?
A bit of both, I think. I went to Coachella last year, and was my first time doing acid, like, in public. And, you know, the vibe was just not there. It was absolutely there before, you know, it hit. But I think I was like a couple girls actually, so like, you know, asked me if I was okay. You know, they were actually like really hot. Like I was too deep into shit. Like, oh yeah, they know exactly what I'm thinking, you know, like, you know, stuff like that. Basic acid thoughts. And you know, after that experience, I was like, yeah, no, that's we gotta cut this out. That's it. Like I said, it's not it. So I guess like on acid, it kind of made me realize, yeah, this isn't really what I'm out of life. And I think that's also part of it. Like, you know, if you want the truth, if you want to be that guy, if you want to play Jesus, go ahead. But if you want to live, you know, be human, be human. You're not God. You know, if you're actually thinking that, you're kind of a weirdo. So like, you got to have that voice in your head, like, oh, you know, everything's connected. Like, you know, isn't, you know, the sun, you know, why are we even here? Stuff like that. Have that voice in your head, it's like, shut up. Like, what are you even talking about, weirdo? Just relax. You know, it's a party. Like I said, just loosen up. You know, I want to say, like, since then, like, you know, a lot of people probably in the stream has a lot of, like, anxiety or whatever mental disabilities everyone might have. But, you know, since then, I want to say maybe that's helped me significantly with my mental health. You know, of course, like, when you stop taking drugs, you kind of just balance out. But just generally letting myself loosen up and just, you know, be human, eat burgers, and, like, you know, go to sleep at 2 in the morning and just not care, because there's no God to me at this point.
Nice.
I've been doing a pretty good job at being social and shit.
Yeah, I think psychedelics, weed or acid or mushrooms, I find it incredibly hard to be social while on those, because I'm just like getting way too introspective and it's distracting.
Yeah.
I can't focus on talking to other people if, like, every time I say something I've got to have like 5 minutes of thinking about what I just said.
You know, exactly. And like everything, like, you know, everything that anyone else does or like says, you automatically feel that they're doing this because of this thing and because of me. And
you're putting it all under a magnifying glass, and it's just
it's exactly.
crazy.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we actually doing here?
All right, hey man, thank you for calling in.
No problem, man. Take it easy.
You too.
Call from
Legato.
What? Hello?
Hello.
Legato, so you're incredibly quiet. Can you do something?
I did something.
Oh, perfect. You did it. Legato, are you psycho?
I am not. I'm the only person who's got it figured out, man.
Nice. Well, what do you think about the psychos in the world then?
The psychos of the world? Like who?
I don't know. You know anybody who's psycho? You ever run into one of them?
I knew a man named Willie Mack who was pretty psycho.
What was that like?
Like he would do a psycho thing or two. He put his stuff in between his legs and he'd do the tongue dance.
All right, Legato, what did you want to talk about when you called in?
I don't know. Psycho killers.
Okay.
Like, how do you kill somebody, man? That's pretty crazy, right?
Who?
I mean, like, how could you kill a person? That would be pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it would be crazy. Like, if you weren't crazy
now, if
already.
You're a psycho killer.
Yeah.
If you're a psycho killer, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Why do you think that is?
Because, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But it's, what was the fucking, thing anyways? Psychos, right. Psychopathic. I knew a guy who, liked to get stung in his penis.
Stung in his penis?
Yeah, by bees.
Oh. Where did that... Why? Where did that come? Are you wheezing, laughing right now? Legato. Good Lord. Legato, do you have anything to say about psychosis at all?
Like,
Huh? Okay. Okay, then. You can call in now. The number is 518-288-7938. We're talking about psychosis, psychose, and I guess related issues or circumstances.
Call from
Sean.
John.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, dude, I'm good. How are you? We're talking psychos today and psychosis.
Yeah, man. That shit's, psychosis is definitely a trip, man. I think, the first time I ever experienced it was, like, smoking a lot of weed. That shit was crazy.
What were you thinking when you were in the thick of it?
Bro, I was just thinking, how can I get out of here, man? It was, I was at a skate park, and I thought, like, the gating around the skate park was like a jail cell. And I was like trapped in. It was nuts.
You were
I just thought about oh yeah.
No, go on.
Oh yeah, no, I just thought about like what I would do differently, like in my personal life, you know. I think like having a psychotic break like can sometimes like be like good for like reflection. I don't know.
You've never had a full psychotic break, though, right? You just felt psycho while you're on some drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I feel like I've heard stories of other people disassociating on drugs, you know, and I don't know like to what extent my experience is, you know, like when I'm in the moment, you know.
Like, did you feel like you were you didn't have control of your actions?
Oh no, I feel like I was in control. It was just yeah, I was in control.
Well, that might not even be the right like question, because maybe people who are going through psychosis, they also feel like they're in control. They're just getting all these inputs that sway their decision making.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if how you were when you were high then was just that never went away? Would that have been a sustainable life?
No, man, that would have been like the worst thing ever, honestly. I mean, you know, maybe I would acclimate to it. I'm not sure.
Well, you said that like psychosis might be good for like self-reflection, but it's hard because I don't know. It's like a lot of people have bouts of psychosis, and generally, like the stuff that goes on while they're in that, like, really fucks up their life.
That's fair. I guess when I go crazy, I feel like, in hindsight, you know, if I can get out of that moment, you know, it makes me realize more things about myself. I guess is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, so what did you figure out from your experiences?
I really feel like my ego has played like a big role in my life, for better and worse. And I think when I'm in those moments, I feel like I act on my ego more than anything else. So when I look back at the person I am in that moment, it makes me want to like be a more humble person.
Do you feel like when you were in that state, you had a more inflated ego, or are you just like more aware of it?
I think I was less aware, honestly, or maybe that is what it was. Maybe I was more aware of it. I don't know. I think it just like was a lot of like what goes into my actions, you know, like the driving force behind like a lot of things I do day to day. It's just like pure ego.
I think this might be a thing, you know, like smoking a ton of weed kind of puts you in a different brain perspective. And then, I mean, I'll speak for myself, I won't say you, but like if I smoke a ton of weed and I'm hanging out with people, I like can't function normally because I just get so in my head about how I do anything. It's sort of like I'll just freeze up. I won't be able to interact with people because everything I do, I'll be like, why did I say that? Why am I acting this way? Like, why is this what I'm normally like? This, I get really upset at myself.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
It's easier to just smoke weed or do psychedelics by yourself because then there's no one there to like observe you.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to touch on something that it seemed like a lot of callers were talking about, which is the unity aspect of like existing, like how everything is like one organism, maybe. I feel that way too. I think we're all like super grotesque, but at the same time like insanely beautiful, and like the world is like, I mean, humanity is like really evil, but at the same time we're like really good too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a base thing that can color a lot of psycho thinking. It's just feeling very connected to everything. It's not like a bad thing to feel connected to the world and people and stuff, but that's like a rabbit hole that you can go too deep down, where it's like I'm getting beamed psychic messages from people in China and they're telling me to do this. Like, you can quickly fall off a ledge there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm sure we're going to be talking more about it with everyone here tonight, because that is an interesting thing, the unity aspect. But thanks for calling in, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, no, big fan, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, man. All right, have a good one. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here before we get into the next callers. We're listening to more Golden Furniture, their album Lawnmower Community. Again, the link for that is in the description of this video, the Bandcamp link. We'll be back with more calls about psycho shit very shortly.
When I play C, I love Fortnite. Email me back, Elon. Are you gonna buy it? HTTPS.
Point your laptop. Series worm. Laser ready. Here I go. The punch. Flash beam. Where is it? It's already pollution. Dig it. You know it better. Long term, you need more function. I do the fix, I make it quick. Laptop ready. And let me guess what Siri responds to that. She says, snap crash, disengage close reach. The haters apologizes. I do like it. Closer. Yes. Grilling laptop. Wow, wow, wow. Happy birthday now. Don't worry about it. Yeah, right. Rolling laptop. No one touches this thing. You know it better. Persevere, do the fix.
Okay. We are back. Alright, the lines are open. You can call in now. 518-288-7938. Am I loud enough? Sorry if there's sound issues here. I gotta someday do some sort of sound check or something. Make this actually work. But you can hear everything, right? I mean, that's the main thing. You just gotta be able to hear everything. Who's this?
Call from
Esweezy.
Esweezy.
Hello, Mr. The Minute Hour. How are you doing today?
I'm doing swell. How are you, Esweezy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm off some weed and I'm just chilling.
Right? Classic Esweezy. Well, we're talking about psychosis today. Some people have been talking about some psychedelic experiences they've had. What do you have to say about all that?
Well, little known fact, I'm actually schizophrenic.
Oh, shit. We're going straight to the source.
That's right.
Well, what's going on in that whacked out brain of yours, dude?
Well, if I don't take my Seroquel and my Haldol, I'd probably go insane.
Has that happened before?
Yes, it has during college.
Uh-huh. What happened?
Well, I lost my mind. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my friends. I lost my college career. It was just a shit show.
Can you describe, like, what it felt like? Or, like, do you feel like you were being compelled to do things? Or what? What was that experience like, feeling it?
Well, what I felt during that period in college is I felt like everyone was talking about me, and everyone was spying on me. I actually had a moment where I put tape all over every single hole in my stucco wall.
Because you thought maybe
Just to
something
block
was
out
coming
the
in.
cameras.
I see, yeah. That sounds difficult.
It was, but after proper medication and working with my therapists and psychologists, it got a little bit better.
In what way? I mean, I'm imagining that when you're in the thick of it, you're having these thoughts, and they just like that paranoid type thoughts that you're being spied on or talked about, and there's basically just no way to deny those thoughts. Like is that accurate? Like you have a thought and think like, yeah, that's definitely what's happening.
Exactly. I would have a thought and I'd be like, oh, that's definitely exactly what's going on right now. And I would just run with it without consulting anybody or talking to anybody.
Is that like then the basis of the therapy is consulting with people, or just having some hesitation when it comes to your own thoughts?
Someone to tell you that all of this isn't actually going on. It's all in your head. But I believed it so hard that I was very resistant to therapy at first.
Yeah. Where do you think it came from? I mean, do you have could you recall like when you started having like a more paranoid thought process? Was it college specifically?
It was definitely college that made me break into psychosis.
But maybe you had a hint of paranoid stuff going on earlier. It wasn't like it wasn't like one day you woke up and you just thought everyone was watching you all of a sudden. It was maybe more gradual. Or you tell me. You tell me.
Well, it was somewhat gradual, but there was one day where I just reached my breaking point. I was writing down in my notebook, like, I see you fuckers. You're coming after me. I can see you fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have that notebook from college, and I read through it sometimes, and just to see how fast psychosis took hold is pretty interesting.
So then, how do you feel now? Do you feel like what is it about the therapy and medication that you feel makes you better, or not going to go into that again?
Well, the medication I take is Seroquel, Haldol, and Valium.
What does that do?
And it basically grounds me. Like, it makes me not hear voices anymore, because that was a big part of it. I heard a lot of voices.
I see, yeah. Voices that seem like they weren't your own thoughts, like they were coming from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Well, what sort of like, what were they saying? Were they like feeding into that paranoia?
They were definitely feeding into the paranoia. It escalated so much when I heard the voices were saying stuff like, "Oh, well, you're lame, you're stupid, you're dealing with all this shit. You're because you don't know how to act like a normal human being."
Mm-hmm. So how do you in your mind identify like what is an external voice versus like your own thought process?
I started to be able to differentiate a couple years after the college experience. I was able to, when I hear a voice and I hear like a real person, it's like it's a very different sounding message. It's more like I can hear, these psychosis voices, and they're just like, they're not in front of me. You know what I mean? They're not right in front of me.
I mean, I've had this thought before where, I was thinking to myself once, like, it's wacky, it's crazy that people hear voices. And I was just thinking this to myself. It's crazy. People hear voices in their head. And then I realized as I was thinking that, like, oh, I'm doing that right now. I hear a voice in my head that's saying these things, that's narrating my thoughts. But is that just the difference? Is that I have some sort of awareness that the things that are going on in my head are me? Like, even when they are mean voices that are telling me that I suck and that everyone's watching, I have paranoid thoughts too, but like there's something different where I don't view those as something external. I just view them as something internal, something subconscious that I don't understand.
Yeah, eventually you come to the understanding that everything that you're hearing is inside your own head. And it's just fueled by paranoia. And you can differentiate pretty easily once you figure that out. But sadly, some schizophrenics never can figure that out. I went to the mental ward a couple times, and I've seen people that are so deep in it that they're never going to come out.
We were talking to a few people today who were talking about like the unity of all living things and all consciousness and how everything is one, basically. And I feel like that sort of perpetuates the schizophrenic thought of like, it's not me, it's not internal, it's something that, because I'm part of everything else, I'm being delivered messages that aren't my own. I feel like that goes down the crazy path to me. What do you think about that?
It's almost a skill you have to learn as a schizophrenic, someone who is constantly receiving voices. It's almost a skill you have to learn.
How to differentiate?
How to differentiate, exactly.
Well, Esweezy, I'm glad that you're on a more even keel now. You feel okay? You've got systems for how to deal with this stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I'm way more healthier than I was in college.
That's good to hear, then. Thank you for calling in, Esweezy. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, great to talk to you, Mr. The Midnight Hour.
All right, have a good one. Oh, I just missed the next caller. Oh, God. Wait. Oh, okay. You can call in now, 518-288-7938. We're talking about psychosis. Let's just move right on.
Call from Jayden.
Jayden, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Jayden, have you ever been psychotic?
Yeah, it's funny. What that guy was talking about, something very similar happened to me in high school, but I was never diagnosed with schizophrenia. I still haven't been. I was so depressed when I was like 15. I believed that I was in literal hell, and everybody in my life, my mom, my therapist, people at school, were like demons that really wanted me to suffer as much as possible. And I told my therapist about this, and she laughed about it. So, yeah, well, she didn't really. I told her about it, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And then at the end of the session, she's like, "You still think I'm a demon?" She didn't. That's why I don't go to the therapist. They don't help. I mean, at least not for me. But
This is a therapist you were seeing when you were 15?
Yeah.
It was in the thick of it?
Yeah, it was for like a month, and I don't know. It was just kind of on and off. But I hated school so much, and I wouldn't go. Like, I refused to go. I think I missed a month of the whole year and my mom would yell at me and tell me to go to school, and I thought it was all part of like some hellish plan. And once I went to school, they'd really give it to me. And,
yeah, they could destroy you.
Yeah. So.
What made you get out of that?
I really
did something
don't,
good happen? Did someone
mom.
say something nice to you or something? What?
It was probably my mom.
She stopped acting like a demon?
For a while, I thought she was in on it. But then, I don't know, I was taking my meds. I was trying to be better, and something kind of clicked. And I was like, even if everyone else is out to get me, I don't think my mom was out to get me. And that really took... And I mean, she was mean to me. When I wouldn't go to school, and then she would scream at me. Because she couldn't get it. She just thought I was being rebellious or bratty or whatever. But I could kind of see that what I was doing was really impacting her. So I was like, I don't know. But
all right, so that gave you a little bit of grounding, like a foothold. There's at least one person close to you who's probably not a demon trying to destroy your life.
Yeah.
You say you are taking medication?
Yeah.
When you're 15?
Yeah. Oh, I started taking medication when I was like 13. What? Okay.
Is that your mom now? Who's that?
Hello?
Who is that?
Sorry, my cat's being annoying. It's my roommate.
That's not a cat. They're speaking English. Oh, your roommate.
My cat wants to get in my room, so she's letting him in my room.
Okay, I see. All right.
Sorry.
All right, you've been taking medication since you were 13?
Yeah. When I was young, I used to have it just all blew up in my face. I had anxiety. I didn't have any friends. So they put me on Prozac for a while, and then I tried to kill myself, and they're like, Prozac's not working. We're going to put you on something else.
Jayden, good Lord. You had anxiety and you didn't have any friends, and they put you on Prozac? How deep was your depression? Before?
I wouldn't get out of bed for days.
Days?
I thought everything...
Were you gaming?
No, I wasn't gaming. I was just laying in bed. I thought if I got out of bed and did something really bad would happen.
Okay. All right.
Everything was overwhelming. Going to school made me physically feel sick. I don't even know what I thought. And honestly, I'm kind of getting into this now, again, 10 years later, where I feel like getting up and doing things is bad for me, which I know isn't true, but it feels kind of true.
So you're back, dude. What are you going to do? How are you going to break out of this cycle?
I don't know. I like I said, I took meds for 10 years. I'm so sick of meds. I'm not taking any more meds. I really should, but I've been on 10 different things, different psychiatrists. I did that medicational cranial stimulation thing where they tap on your brain. That worked for a little bit, then it didn't. I took ketamine therapy. That worked for a little bit, then it didn't.
What other drugs have you taken?
I'm not taking anything. That's probably why I'm whatever.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if you're just listening, but Esweezy, he was pretty crazy in college. Now he just smokes weed every single day, and he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I just took meds for the longest time, and I'm sick of them.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of at the point where I'm like, it's never going to get better. I'll just do my own thing.
But yours is not like a paranoid sort of crazy. It's not like the schizophrenic kind that we've been hearing more of today. This is like the depression kind, the I don't want to do anything, I don't want to get out of bed. You think something bad's going to happen if you get out of bed.
Yeah.
Something bad happening to you?
Right now, no.
Or
'cause I'm in bed.
that you will have a bad effect on the world if you get out of bed. Is it that you think something's going to happen to you, or that your impact on the world will be bad?
I guess it's both.
Oh shit.
I just I feel like some people, they're just here and they don't do anything. There's no reason for them to be here. I'm sure there are people who there's a reason for them to be here, and there's some people who aren't meant to be here. So I gotta stay out of people's way.
Like you don't want to impede someone else's progress or something?
Yeah, and like I said, being outside is overwhelming. Just going to the store, there's so many people, there's so much noise, people are talking. I don't really think they're talking about me, but they know I'm there, and I don't like them acknowledging that I'm there.
So there is a little bit of that. Well, you can keep calling into the call-in show. You can do that from bed.
I can. I know my cat's in the bed, and he's smacking me.
That's good. You got a cat, you got a bed, you got a phone. What else do you need?
Yep. Not much.
Maybe some Prozac?
Oh, no.
No, you're done with that. All right, good.
I'm done with that.
All right, well, Jayden.
I actually have...
What? Go on. Go.
I've been prescribed meds, and I haven't taken them, so I got a big chunk of meds just sitting there. But
nice. You could become a drug dealer?
I don't think anybody wants Wellbutrin.
That's not powerful enough. All right. Well, Jayden, thank you for calling in. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye. Ooh, unknown.
Call from
Kiwi.
Hello?
Hey.
Who's this?
I made it. Isaac.
Isaac?
I said Kiwi, but it's actually Isaac. Am I live?
Yeah, dude. What's up, Isaac?
Yeah, long time caller, man. I just thought I'd call in and maybe put a positive spin on the whole thing. I'm a recovered psychotic from down under
good.
here in New Zealand.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I kind of framing it as recovered because I'm off the meds, living a great life again. But definitely been through the old rinse mentally. Full blown psychosis. There's actually two flavors of psychosis. I haven't heard anyone bring that up yet. You can either go manic or you can go depressive. Those are the two types. I was lucky enough to go manic. So
that's the better kind?
Yeah, it's way funner.
Because you're on top of the world. You think you're about to reinvent, money or something, or drinking, or...
Oh, yeah. So there's a million scenarios that I was going through. This is something that lasted years, and it's not like being crazy isn't like you hear voices or see bugs or anything like that. I think it's more like a better framework is to say that you're not in control of what you think the narrative is. But everyone's got a narrative that they think that is happening, like, hey, I'm in school to work towards this, that. But for me, I thought, hey, I'm on Survivor Island, got to get to the beach to win my big check. Then, hang on, no, George Lucas has sold us out to the aliens for a Hollywood check. Or, I've seen aliens.
That's interesting.
God, man.
It's what you believe the story of your life is at any given time.
Yeah.
You might think that's a cool way of looking at it. You might think, a lot of people, if they're just in college, they would think, I'm in college. This is the story of me in college. But someone who's having a manic episode might just totally forget that and be like, I'm here to reinvent how we speak, and I can invent a new type of computer language or something. That's what my story is right now.
Yeah, totally. And it's possible. I mean, there's nothing stopping you actually doing that.
True.
But another way to say what I'm trying to get at is if you've ever had a dream, you don't necessarily need all the evidence to believe what's happening. You just show up in the scene and you know that this person is your sister's husband. Right. You don't have to have the evidence to actually know that about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just get in and you already know. And when you're psychotic, there's a lot of that information that's just dropped on you.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. So you're saying being in a manic state is kind of like dreaming, where it's just you're plopped into situations and you create or otherwise believe you have a total understanding of that situation.
Exactly, yeah. And I guess the difference between being psychotic and sane is that there is such thing as like a shared kind of narrative. And if you share the narrative, then you're sane. And if you have your own narrative, then you're something other than sane.
Now, obviously, the argument could be made that then for, innovation or like serious progress to be made, it might require some people who are a little bit psycho to kind of divert away from the shared narrative that, that things are as they should be.
Yeah. I get what you're pointing at, but I think you have to have a solid kind of grounding in what that, I don't know, kind of collective narrative is, or shared reality tunnel that everyone's operating through and being channeled through is, in order to shake it up if you wanted to, if they're inclined to change it. You need to know where you're changing from in order to change it to somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, if you're going to make changes in the real world, you have to kind of live in the real world. You have to play by the real world's rules.
You got to know where everyone else's head is at if you want to try to shift them.
Because you hear that a lot with people who are going through a little manic thing. I've heard of hypomania. That seems it's like manic light, but they always have these ambitious projects, and whenever I hear them, I want them to succeed. There was a guy on the Discord Patreon server for the Minute Hour who was sort of losing his mind a little bit. Shout out to Bumbo. He was gonna invent a new type of drumming notation, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that sounds cool." But when you're that manic, sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it. I was saying the exact same thing you're saying. Like my ramp up into psychosis was a lot of that kind of energy. Like I was beekeeping at the time, and I wanted to invent a whole different style of hive. And
you want to improve something.
Yeah. I thought we're only just like running on momentum, and I could innovate and do something different, and make it my own. But from an external perspective, people are like, "Oh man, you can't just go and change it all up. Just stick to what's established."
So what is it that stops? Is it just that if you're in that manic state, you're just unable to have enough focus and grounding to actually execute a plan, or what in your experience was it that stopped you from executing your very ambitious goals?
Oh no, I think I was definitely doing it. There was nothing stopping me. It was just the energy was kind of almost inhuman. Like it was like, I don't know, a regular person couldn't swim across an ocean, but if you had some meth and did it, that would be like a superhuman achievement, only achievable by some sort of unhealthy external force. And that unhealthy external force for me was this manic energy. So I'll be staying up all hours, drawing plans and, constructing stuff. And, it was, I don't know, it's hard to frame, but that was definitely the rampant, and that's when people started telling me, "Hey, you're acting off." And I couldn't see it. You can't see your own kind of actions from an external perspective, just like the fish can't see the water,
What was it that made you eventually see it?
I went on a trip overseas and just completely lost the plot. Went to Cocoa Pops. Had to basically be rescued. The embassy from my country had to get involved and try and fish me out from another country.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And the whole time I wasn't believing like any of it. Like I said, I'd seen aliens, God, three-letter agencies, Chinese spies that are psychic, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when some guy called Dr. Bonbon comes and tries to give you medication, you're not that receptive to it.
It is too perfect. That's why I feel sometimes that happens, where the treatment for people who are in a psychotic break just seems like it feeds into whatever their psychotic delusion is. It's just like, oh, of course. They found me, because it's like part of it is paranoia, and then it's like eventually you have reason to be paranoid because there are government agencies that are like paying very close attention to you.
I guess.
Well, I think I lost you there. You sound very, very quiet now.
Sorry, I would put my mic up to my mouth.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
And I'm also on Starlink, which is a bit...
oh, nice.
That's not that great of a connection. Anyway, I just wanted to give a little bit of advice to anyone who might be going through something like that, because I'm lucky to have come out the other side. If I didn't recover, I would have been slapped with the good old schizophrenic label and been medicated for the rest of my life, I guess.
Yeah.
You just got to check in with other people, and it's like you've got to develop a healthy form of skepticism. Like if anything seems really exciting and cool, you might just be tickling on that
if anything seems exciting or cool, you might be psycho. That's your advice?
Yeah. No. I guess what I was getting at is the advice is, I think it's so different for everyone. I can't give umbrella advice to everyone,
but checking in with people.
Check in with other people. If everything's mundane and just normal, boring even, you shouldn't have to worry too much about your mental health in terms of actually being schizophrenic or manic or psychotic. I think if things start to feel a little bit magical and awesome and fantastical, like the whole Unity thing people were talking about, it just seems a little bit too cool to be real.
Mm.
So maybe touch base on that kind of stuff.
And I mean, I would think that if I was starting to have some magical, cool thinking, and if I checked in with someone and they were like, you're being crazy, my first thought would probably be, they're a demon or something, they're a Chinese spy, they're part of the enemy that's trying to keep me from tapping into the secret awesome power of the universe.
Yeah.
So what do you do for that?
Well,
how do you avoid that?
Oh, I think
stuff.
If you actually want to tap into magical powers of the universe, you got to go for a trip up to a Tibetan monastery or something, man. You can't do it in your flat.
That's fair. Yeah, just make it unobtainable. Just be like, it's not even worth the trouble.
Like to Amazon jungle or something like that.
Yeah, I'll never.
My way out.
I'd rather just act more chill. All right, well, hey, thank you for calling in. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, good to chat.
All right,
Take
have a
it
good
easy,
one.
man.
Bye-bye. Okay. Let's see if we get another call here. 518-288-7938. If we don't get another call in the next 5 seconds here, I'm going to take a break. Oh, we got one.
Call from
Cornelius.
Cornelius.
Yes.
Hello.
Am I on the air?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to say, first off, I'm a really big fan of the show, and I just want to say keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're talking about psychos and psychosis today. What do you got to say about that, Cornelius?
Well, I just wanted to say that, I'm just really sick and tired of, I'm dealing with a lot of people on the internet right now, and everyone and their mom just keeps saying that my shit's a hoax, and, I'm just trying to post my life, and what they're doing, it's just old, it's tired, it's played out, and it has to stop. Look, it's just really hard for me to not get offended when they want to sit there with their little grin and say that, my shit's a joke, because, they're talking about my life as if my life's like a fucking joke to them.
Okay. So what are you talking about? What's prompting this response?
Well, I've never really been on the internet much, but I made an Instagram page recently, and everyone and their mom just wants to keep saying that what I'm posting is a joke. And I don't know how to really go about it anymore, because I'm just trying to post my life, and I guess they think I'm another copper cab or something, or they want to
another what?
They think it's some type of like a copper tab, or like I'm LARPing, or that it's some type of performance art, or I'm acting, or you know what I'm saying?
That's so frustrating.
I'm not. It's very frustrating,
So what are you posting? Why do I mean, you're just posting your normal life. So what is it? Why do people insist that it's a LARP?
Well, that's a really good question. So this is the very first video that I posted, and it attracted the most attention. And basically, I have this certain abusive corner. So every time it's every single time that I walk into the room, he just starts mouthing off and like gaslighting and projecting, and just calling me basically all these different names. And it was just me filming him. It was me. This is like evidence. I was documenting what I was dealing with in the room.
What did you say it was? A roommate? A who?
No, it's this corner in my room. It's like the dude just doesn't leave me alone.
What do they say? What does this person say? It's a person.
Well, for instance, I walked in the other day, and he basically was asking me, or he was like, why are you coming into my dojo? Why are you coming into my house? And I'm like, dude, I literally just walked in the door. This is my house, and you want to mouth off? Like, I can't even come home from work without him giving me problems and just being evil,
And then you record this and you put it online for evidence for later.
Really, dude? Really? I'm sorry, dude. I'm on the phone. This is what we're doing. I'm literally on the phone, dude. Find a fucking hobby. He's starting right now. Sorry.
Do you ever win these arguments?
I don't think, no, it's impossible. See, with narcissists, you can't win. They are always the one in the wrong. Or, I'm sorry, you're always the one in the wrong, and it's impossible to win with them.
Well, it must be so upsetting. I mean, you had to deal with this on a daily basis. Then you post online, probably for posterity, if you ever want to, take action or just have a record of this. And then people are calling you fake.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, that was sneezing.
What was that? Oh, okay.
I was sneezing. I'm sorry about that. I was sneezing. Oh, shoot. A plane just flew over. There's only one explanation. Carl sent a spy plane after me to see what I was doing again. This is not the first time either.
Oh, no.
Carl he's a whole other ballgame. I'm sorry, go on.
Do you know people in real life that you have friendly connections with? Friends? Do you have friends?
Oh, yeah. I got a couple friends. I got 2 friends,
What do they think about this whole situation?
John, he's really supportive because, I don't know, I feel like John doesn't fully believe me. I mean, there was this, he was in the room the other day, he came over for a beer, and dude started mouthing off, and he kind of just looked at me, you could tell he didn't really, he could hear what Carl was saying, but he didn't Like, he didn't fully grasp the situation. Like, I don't think he understands the validity of my argument and what's actually going on.
Carl is the corner.
Carl.
In your room.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where he resides. Yeah.
Is it a person or is it a corner? I'm confused.
Well, it's the corner in my room, but that's where Carl is.
Okay, I see. And did Carl name themselves?
It's right in my kitchen. It's right. What was that?
Did you name them Carl, or did they name themselves? Did they introduce themselves at some point? They came with the house, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, he 100% introduced himself. He doesn't stop. He never stops mouthing off. Oh my shit! I just dropped my cup. I had 1 day left till retirement, and now it's obliterated. That's fun.
Jeez, that's
I'm
hard
sorry.
to hear. Well, hey Cornelius, I mean,
I've been working with that cup for. Can I just say one last thing before I go?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm sick and tired of the stupid rabbit stealing the tricks from the kids. It's been years and years. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. You are not a kid. You're a dadgum long-eared fuckhead rabbit. So stop stealing from children. It's not funny. Let them eat their cereal and let them be in peace, long ears, okay? Silly rabbit. This is child abuse, dude.
Okay, well, it's good talking to you, dude.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day, my friend.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Okay, we got to hear from Cornelius there. We're going to take a quick break. All the music from the stream is from Golden Furniture from their album Lawnmower Community, the link to which is in the description of this video. I'll be back in 4 minutes and 17 seconds with more calls. Okay, we are back. This is probably going to be the last portion of the call-in show. We'll do another 30 or 40 minutes of calls here. Before we get into that, I want to say, if you don't know about it, you should know. Chunk. Chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. It's right there on the computer screen. Chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. It is a thing that me and Moxie Famous are doing. You pay $10 a month. You get a new piece of physical media in the mail. Theoretically, every month. It takes us a little more than that. In reality, we're working on getting everything all tightened up, so it is actually monthly. But for $10 a month, you will get a new chunk for every month that you've paid. The chunks are comics, there's zines, there's CDs, there's stickers, things of this nature. Working with a bunch of independent artists, people who I know personally or I've worked with or I just know through the internet. This month, the chunk that's going out today, in fact, for everyone who's already signed up for chunk, is called Soma. It is a 32-page black and white comic anthology about topics that we're all interested in, sci-fi type shit. It's a bunch of short stories, funny stuff, interesting stuff, thoughtful things that you will find in Soma. It also has a sticker pack with 5 unique designs by the author. The author of Soma is Etienne Boulet. You can find him on Instagram at Etienne Draws. If you go to chunkmonthly.gumroad.com, you'll find all this information. You'll find links to all this shit. You can buy the comic by itself for $10. You can buy the sticker pack by itself for $5, or you can get the bundle that has both for $13. Again, if you're already signed up for Chunk Monthly, you're getting Soma. It's going out today. You should be getting it this weekend, early next week at the very latest. So there's always new stuff. Every month we're working on lots of new stuff. We got lots of stuff coming up, zines, comics, booklets. We're also working on new stuff. We got this giant big-ass paper. We got all these new printers lately that lets us do 13-inch by 19-inch paper, so we might be getting into posters, or we might be doing full-size magazines. We're always increasing the things that we can do with Chunk, the variety of things we can do. So if you like this stuff on this channel, the best way to support this thing overall is to be a subscriber at chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. Your money goes a little bit to me, which I just put right back into Chunk. It goes to the artist who created the Chunk. It goes to Moxie, who also puts it right back into Chunk. He's doing all the production stuff. He prints and trims and staples and folds and packages all the chunks that go out. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for everybody. You get chunks. You get unique, independent media, physical media, things you can actually hold in your hand. That's what you get for your money, and then you're also paying the people who create that stuff. So there's, it's good. It's good for everybody. If I was more prepared, I would be putting up pictures of Soma in this little computer screen right now, but I'm not. I was setting up the store pages for that shit today when I should have been putting it on the stream, but whatever. Just go to chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. Just put it up in your browser so at the end of the stream you can take a little look-see, because there's cool stuff on there. There's also more issues of the last chunk we put out, Cheese to Meet You Mouse Part 2 by Hans Amsler. More of a risque, crass, crude comic involving the Cheese to Meet You Mouse and Mark Zuckerberg and Legato, Avocado, a bunch of the characters from the internet. That's get that one if you're looking for something a little dirtier, a little more disgusting, repulsive, and depraved. Soma it's a different vibe. But anyway, that's the thing with Chunk. It's a different thing every month. It's always different. You know, it's stuff that I'm signing off on. I love all the artists that we're working with. I love the stuff they make. I wouldn't put out a Chunk with an artist if I wasn't fully 100% behind it. So I give it the seal of approval, the minute hour stamp of approval, if that means anything. And I think that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about with Chunk. Chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. If you got $10 a month, that's a good place to put it. If not, don't worry about it, dude. Everything else is still perfectly free. You know, the call-in show is always going to be free. The minute hour is always going to be free. But when it comes to this enterprise, we're talking about physical media. It costs money to make it and to send it out there. So we do need money in return. And it pays the artist. Okay. That's the Chunk spiel. Let's get back into the calls. You can call in again. The number is 518-288-7938. I'm getting a lot of dropped frames on OBS. I don't know how stuttery this is coming out for YouTube. I don't know what the problem is really. I got a high bit rate at it. I don't know. Sometimes this just happens. But anyway, you can call in now. The number is 518-288-7938. We're talking about psychosis. David.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, we're talking about psychosis today. What do you got to say about that?
Well, I tried to listen to I was listening to the beginning, and I was listening to some of the earlier parts. So did anybody talk about mushroom-induced psychosis yet?
Oh, we barely touched on some acid-induced weirdness, but I want you to go on about mushrooms.
Well, this was, I've taken mushrooms before. I would pick them and try to dry them out and then eat them, but nothing would ever happen. And so this one time last year, I was at my friend's party, his birthday party, and there's somebody handing out mushrooms. I hadn't eaten anything all day long by the empty stomach. And I take these mushrooms, and I thought I was actually gonna die. I legit thought of calling 911 while I was tripping.
Why? What led you to believe that?
My heart was just beating out of my chest. I heard I have really bad tinnitus already, and so that was every little sound, the crickets outside, just everything, and my tinnitus was just really loud in my ears. And I have anxiety already, and so that just kind of put me over the edge, and I just had a full-blown panic attack.
Oh yeah.
I would I went to my car and just closed my eyes and laid back, but the crickets were too loud, and I kept seeing all these visuals, and I mean, in the end, it was just a really bad trip, but I felt it's definitely I had a psychosis. I completely lost my mind, and I swore off any kind of psychedelic after that, because I used to take acid, small doses of acid, but after that, I was I legit thought I was dying. I almost called my parents, and it was psychosis. I was not in my right mind. And I was not myself.
Have you ever felt anything approaching that not on psychedelic drugs?
Yeah. Kind of. Not to that extent. That was a full-blown panic attack.
Yeah.
But have you heard of Boltzmann brain?
No. Say it again.
I think that's the name, Boltzmann, I think.
No, I don't. I've never heard of it.
It's the theory that there's one brain floating through space and time, and it's the only thing there, and it's making up all these other people and this world and this life. And since I was 10 years old, I've been really, ever since I watched The Matrix, I've had this scary feeling that I'm the only like real person alive, you know, and everything else is like an illusion or a computer thing. And even to this day, like if I think about it too much, I'll break out in like a cold sweat and I can't focus on anything. And just thinking that like, is everything real, you know?
So you would think that you are the brain floating through space? You're the one actual thing, and everything else is like part of your imagination.
Yeah, exactly. Because I am looking through my eyes, you know, and I'm moving my body, and I see all these people walking around, and I can't see through their eyes, and I can't tell if they are feeling the same thing that I'm feeling or thinking. And so I'm like, is any of this actually real? Because like I'm experiencing this life and this body, this only body, through my eyes, and I can see my nose when I think about it, you know. It's like, do other people think like that? Are there other people like aware that they can only look through their own body, and that's weird?
I'm not a philosophy guy, so I don't have the all the academic answers, but there's the old question of if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? It's like based on the idea of things that are outside of perception generally. Are they real? Or are things real because they're perceived?
Exactly. And so,
my first thought when you're saying that though is what is it about your perspective that makes you think that you are the thing that everything else stems from, and not that you are one of the little tendrils of someone else's big brain floating through space?
Because like I was saying, I am I'm looking through my eyes.
You've got some evidence?
Well, I can for the longest time, like I can't explain it, because it's just like this creeping feeling. Oh God. Only I can see. I think it might be a symptom of narcissism, first of all. From what I understand, like I tried to look up some cursory Google searches, just because like, I am living through my body. And so how can I'm the only one who can see through my body, and that this is my life. And I don't know what made it to be me, who made it to be me. Like, first of all, if I wasn't a Christian and like had a relationship with God, I'm pretty sure I would have killed myself years ago.
Why is that?
Just from these thoughts. Because life is nothing. It's not natural. Nothing should have happened. You know, where did life come from? Life should not have happened. You know.
Do you think without that kind of religious framework that you wouldn't be able to justify life? What do you mean exactly?
Right, exactly. Like, there's no sense. If there wasn't a greater being, and then you think about that, where did the greater being come from? And then your brain really starts melting, you know, and so I don't even think about that. But like all of this to be around, life and Earth and the universe and stuff, like there's not even, how did it come to be, right? And if I wasn't religious, quote unquote, I would have like I said, it doesn't make sense.
What would be your advice to others who are having a similar thought process here? Is how do you make life normal enough or comfortable enough that you can live it without being, super psycho?
Overcome by these thoughts. I try to stay relatively busy. Like if I didn't have a job, I'd go crazy.
Okay.
I socialize. I talk to other people just about random crap. Not about this specifically, usually, but just keep yourself distracted, and basically find jobs,
Can you do those at the same time? Be distracted and find God?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like to drink. I drink and smoke cigarettes too, so that helps quite a bit,
All right. Well, we can all get behind that.
Kind of calm. Right, absolutely. And I don't condone, drinking a whole lot, even though I drink every day, but so I don't want to be responsible for somebody listening to this and saying, oh, this guy says, it's okay to drink all the time because you have anxiety and panic attacks. That's just how I'm currently coping, and I don't plan on sticking with it for my whole life. I quit. I used to smoke a whole bunch of weed, like enough for 2 or 3 lifetimes, and I quit that 2 years ago.
Wow.
2 or 3 years ago. Because then that made me very paranoid.
Quitting or smoking?
Smoking made me very paranoid.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, David, good talking to you. Good to hear from you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a while since I've called in. Normally, the last few times I've called in with some stupid accent.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is the real David.
So it's good to talk to you. This is the real David. Yes, it's always a pleasure.
All right. Have a good one, David.
All right. You too. Goodbye.
Bye. All right. 518-288-7938. We are talking about psychosis. We've been talking a lot about drugs. I mean, these things, I guess, they go hand in hand. Frank?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yo, how's it going?
Good, man. I got lucky. We're talking about psychosis. I know the previous guy was talking about shrooms and some similar stuff to that. Are you trying to avoid topics that were onset by a substance?
No, I mean I'm open to anything. Whatever you got to say.
All right. Well, I used to smoke weed a lot, and I really liked it. And I did shrooms one time, and I didn't have a bad experience. It was just a weird experience, I was playing a video game and I died in it, and it freaked me out. And I just kind of laid in my bed until I fell asleep. I didn't have a full on panic attack or anything, but I just felt uncomfortable. And then after that, I went to smoke weed with my friends afterwards, and I freaked out. I don't know what changed in my brain or something, but I smoked weed with my friends, and I thought that they were all actors. I'd hate to compare it to something like a source of media or something, because it makes it seem less genuine, But it really did feel like I was in the Truman Show, in a sense where everyone was just almost like I was I wish I could find a perfect way to compare it, but everyone was aware of me, and I was almost being kind of mocked. I don't know. And I walked home from his house. I got home and I was like freaking out the whole way. I thought every car was like staring at me. I had like people in my head telling me stuff, you know. And I got home.
What do you mean by that?
Like
different from your own thoughts?
I'm sorry if I make a gross noise. I'm a little sick right now. But it was like, yeah, kind of like my own voice, but then other times like just weird people that I've met, like telling me like really mean stuff, like I don't know, I'd hate to say it, but it was like a very like suicidal in the moment, like but I didn't myself feel like depressed. It was more of like almost like a frenzied panic, you know. And I got home and you know, I had never felt like so out of my body, you know, out of like control. And the only person home at the time was my uncle. And, you know, I like, you know, I just needed to get rid of this feeling, and I like was talking to him about it. And you know, luckily he like calmed me down a little bit, and my dog jumped on my lap, and like it like gave me a big source of like comfort when my dog jumped on my lap and like made me feel a little bit better. And I like hugged him, and my dog and my uncle like yelled at me, and he was like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Don't hug him. He doesn't like it when you do that." And it like sent me like full on like freak out panic mode again. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I won't do that." Like I had to like pretend that I wasn't freaking out. And I was like, "Thank you, I'm feeling better." And I went downstairs, and I don't think I slept for like the next like 3 hours, and I like could not like stop freaking out. Like I was just like in my own world, just having this like crazy panic episode. And it's still like not like that bad, but it's like I still get something sort of like that anytime I try and smoke weed again. Like my dad, he's really into you know, smoking weed, and he feels bad because he knew that I smoked weed, but I never smoked with him. And I like kind of like did it to appease him like last time I hung out with him. And yeah, like I ended up having to like call my girlfriend and be like, "I'm sorry, but I'm kind of like freaking out right now."
Yeah.
And it was like it was kind of embarrassing because it's like weed is such a, you know, like a Bob Marley, "Whoa, dude," like chill drug, and it like turns me into this fucking psychopath.
Well, it's funny. I think I think all psychedelics do have they've got, I don't know, I see differences and similarities between everyone's how they react to them. But I always notice that when I'm doing that stuff with other people, I find it incredibly uncomfortable. Doing it by myself is kind of just like, yes, now I have time to think to myself. I can think about all the things I want to really think about. But when I'm with other people, it's like I'm trying to think, and it's like, oh, someone's saying something to me. I have to calculate a response, and then I say, it's like, oh, I've done a horrible job. But it's just like, I don't know. There's it's a very strange thing.
Yeah, I see what you mean too. It's like and the ability to misinterpret anything, like in like just like, you know, talking to a group of people, you know, like there's times where like even just like a little awkward comment can kind of like make you like feel a little weird. But an awkward comment while you're like on like a psychedelic can like suddenly
destroy
you into this whole like thought process.
Yeah, things that you could kind of just like shrug off become like the focal point of your thinking. You just like go crazy thinking about it. That's I forget what I was gonna say. There's something just like, nah, I lost it. But but that is you know, like getting back to psychosis then, like when I get to that place, usually the thought that I go to is like, thank God this is gonna go away. This, I can always rely on the thought of like, this is because I did some drugs, and the effects of those drugs will wear off after a certain amount of time, and then I can not have to deal with this kind of crazy thought process anymore.
The most recent time that it happened, I like almost like made myself a lot more comfortable because I like Googled, I'm freaking out on drugs right now, what do I do? And like all these like different like things came up, like like to help you. And I was like, okay, so this is like something that probably gets Googled like 100 times a day, you know? Like other people go through the same thing and everyone's survived it, you know? It's like a roller coaster.
Whose idea was it to do psychedelics in a group?
Well, that's the thing is I didn't do the psychedelics in a group. I did shrooms once by myself. I stole them from my brother when I was like in middle school or high school. I was a little young. And then you know, after I had taken the shrooms and like, you know, I was playing Call of Duty and I died, and it like kind of freaked me out. And because I felt like I was the character, you know, and like I felt like there was like a hidden meaning behind me dying, like outside of the character, you know, like so like I just kind of like went to sleep, and then afterwards just smoking weed alone, like kind of like would send me into like a weird, like when I was with my friends and I like left his house and just walked home, that was just smoking weed.
Yeah, but you're kind of like, I mean, I view weed and mushrooms and acid are basically all on the same line to me. Like weed is like the less powerful version of mushrooms, and mushrooms are like the less powerful version of acid. That's how I think of it. So
yeah, okay, I see.
Like whenever I'm on mushrooms or acid, it just feels like, oh, I'm on like weed, but times 10 or times 20. Like it's too much. And so I could see how smoking weed after being on mushrooms recently would kind of just like bring you into the same headspace, kind of like remind you of all the pressing mushroom thoughts you had.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny too, because I don't smoke weed anymore, but there's this like I actually work at a dispensary now.
Oh.
That's like my job.
You're part of the problem.
And, yeah, and it was just like a job nearby that I was hiring, and like, you know, I was looking for a place, and it ended up like fitting. And now I'm like in this weird like stuck like thing where, you know, I haven't told anyone there that I don't smoke, and all of them think I'm like kind of like a cop for some reason. Well, not all of them, but like one or two of the kind of like crazy ones kind of like think I'm like a cop or something that's trying to like do something. Because like they invited me to like smoke in their car, and I was like, haha, nice try, dude. I'm not gonna fucking peel my skin off while I'm working today, you know. Yeah. But there was one guy that I like, you know, I kind of like became close with, and I told him a little bit about what happened, and he said that the best course of action for me if I did want to try to enjoy marijuana again is to take shrooms again. You know, it's like, honestly, dude, I'm cool with just drinking alcohol. Like that's kind of a fun little activity for me.
I think it's basically not for everyone.
Yeah. It is a shame though, because I did have a lot of fun with it when I was like in, you know, middle school, high school, and then it just kind of, you know, went from there.
Yeah, I mean, I've done them a few times, and like the good experiences are good, but then once you have that bad experience, it really makes you like think like maybe I should just never do this again.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for calling in, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the call, and you know, I'm a huge fan of your stuff, and I can't wait to check out Soma, dude.
All right, well, thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, 518-288-7938. We're going to be taking a couple more calls here. Like I was talking, and it gave me a very specific thing I wanted to say, and then I forgot it. Oh, I hate when that happens. But maybe I'll remember before the show's over. You have to keep the show going until I remember. 518-288-7938. Call in. We're talking about psychosis. A lot of drug-induced psychosis today, but, you know, we're open to the regular kind, too. People who are just excited or depressed. 288-7938. Are we done? Are we out? Are we out of callers? I gotta eat some chips. Doing the stream on an empty stomach. Oh, corn chip. (518) 288-7938. I mean, hey, okay. Here's a call.
Call from
Max.
Max.
Whoa, I'm on the show. What?
Yeah, dude. Are you crazy?
Oh, I'm a little crazy.
Okay.
Well, should I just start?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, I'm not like the craziest guy ever. I've never really had like a religious delusion or like an alien delusion. But I had one crazy thing that happened to me. It's pretty psychotic, I guess. It's kind of similar to what you described, right, with the aliens controlling your mind thing. Right, and so like a long time, like when I was about 15, I think, I had this thing that just came out of nowhere, and it just felt like I was not doing what I was doing. It was like just something else was like doing it for me, and I was just watching. Right. And the way that like I was thinking about it was like there was like a documentary I saw a long time ago where they were talking about how your subconsciousness does like apparently like 90% of the work, and you're basically doing nothing. Your consciousness, right? And so that's what I was like rationalizing with. So it's just sort of dissociating like that for a bit. And I think it's pretty interesting because I thought it was a little similar to what you were describing.
Yeah, man. There's that whole thing where it's like there's those thoughts that I feel like I'm consciously thinking of, like I chose to think these thoughts and now that I hear them in my brain. But then there's the majority of thoughts just come out of seemingly nothingness, like from the subconscious.
Right. That's what I was thinking about. And it sort of freaked me out for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the deal with that?
It still kind of does.
Yeah, where are those thoughts coming from? They just come from the air around you? Or are they coming from the aliens off planet or God or what? What's the thought?
Yeah, and that's sort of like the way I interpret psychosis is sort of like it's sort of like this weird stuff that like it comes from like the subconscious or like the aliens or something out there, and it's just our conscious mind trying to like adapt to it. Right? Like, why could this be happening? Like, 'cause sometimes I like hear some stories about like other people experiencing psychosis, and it's like they ran for like a mile, like 5 miles or something for no real reason because they thought they were like Jesus Christ or something. And I think that might be because I don't know, like some part of them was like experiencing some, like a feeling that was just sort of like out of place with what they usually feel, and sort of the conscious mind was just trying to explain it. Because to me, like the conscious mind is sort of like this unit in the brain that does like middle management and sort of like explains things, like rationalizes things. And
like
so
the conscious mind isn't actually coming up with your thoughts, it's rationalizing the thoughts that arise out of your subconscious.
A bit, yeah. I think it's sort of like this guy that like he manages like reason and like cause and effect stuff, so that like you're like operating well, I guess.
Maybe it's just like a parameter that's in your brain. Maybe just even when you're born. I don't know what could affect it, but the parameter being like how impulsive you are, which would just describe like how willing you are to act on things coming out of your subconscious. Like before understanding them or trying to rationalize them, it's just kind of like, I felt this thought came to me, and therefore I'm going to act on it. That's like, it's very important to me to act on it right now.
Right. It could be. Right, 'cause like.
What do you think?
I think it's very interesting, how like, just like thinking about your consciousness, and like, what if it was like, just something that's like when you're born, it's just like predetermined, sort of. Is that what you were describing?
I mean, I'm talking specifically about like being impulsive, because that's what I think is like would cause you to act on a thought that you don't understand. It's like before you go through the rationalizing process in your consciousness, just like, I have a feeling that the aliens are watching me and I have to entertain them, so I'm going to just start doing a dance.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, it sort of just like overwhelms you, I think.
Or I have a thought that the aliens are telling me I have to run to Los Angeles or Minnesota or something to deliver this message, so I'm just going to start running and I'll figure it out on the way.
Yeah, you're like rationalizing sort of part. So it just like breaks down, or from the point of view, it's sort of like wrong, right?
I guess, yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, is that going to be, like, this is the paranoid part of me, is thinks like in the future is like we're going to talk more about this and we're going to have a deeper understanding, and people are going to actually, where it used to be crazy to think people are beaming messages into my brain telling me to do things, maybe that's something that could actually happen in the future.
Right, and you couldn't really tell, right?
Yeah, because they're beaming it into your subconscious.
Yeah, it's from inside.
And then it's like everything that you're doing is not actually coming from inside you. It's been implanted there by some third party.
Yeah, it could be, because like really reality is sort of just like what we see it as. If they like convince us, like with some sort of like ray or something, that this is how it is, then it is how it is. It's sort of scary to think about.
Yeah, exactly. Reality is the shared version. So it's like if we're all getting fed the same data, the same fucking 5G rays or whatever, it's like we could have all of our subconsciouses be tainted, and then therefore reality would be unreal. It would be based on whoever is beaming this thing to everyone else. We're getting into crazy talk right now. I just listened to myself saying that, and that sounded like a crazy person.
Well, I mean, I think it does have some sort of merit, right? Just thinking about like where your thoughts come from and stuff like that. That's pretty important, honestly. Right?
But like our subconscious is made up of just everything that we take in, right?
Yeah, in a way, it's sort of just this. I don't know. They don't know. The scientists don't know, at least.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Who really knows?
Not me.
Right, but it's sort of strange to think about, because there's got to be somebody at the like beaming the rays into your brains, right?
Right.
Maybe.
But it could just be, I don't know, like the rich, the corporations and shit. It's more fun to think that it's like aliens and shit, because then it's like, what do they want? What's their goal? There's a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I don't know, they could be completely different from us. They could have like a different way of like even being conscious. It's kind of freaky to think about.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was that guy, oh my god, I'm blanking on his name right now. The guy who was like a pharmacy student, and he shot his pastor. His name was Kyle Odom, I think his name was. And he's got a manifesto that you can download. It's a great, very entertaining, interesting manifesto. And in his mind, it was all Martians. It was Martians are in your subconscious, and the thing that Martians want is to see you sexually suffer. Like, that's just the utmost form of entertainment to the Martians, and so they get into your dreams and they make you gay, or they make you, you know, really horny or something, and then they do. And it was all based around sex. Was just the Martians are really having a fucking big laugh every time you're sexually frustrated.
There's always some sort of sexual element to these kinds of killers. It's strange. You see it all the time.
Why do you think that is?
They're always some sort of closet homosexual, like.
Yeah, it was like the Martians wanted to fuck my butt. I didn't want that. I'm not gay. I didn't do that.
Right.
Why
it's
is
strange.
that?
I'm not sure. I read it all the time. It's like, oh, I had some sort of gay experience, and some guy like offered to suck my dick, and I killed some girl. It's so strange.
That sends ripples throughout the whole universe. If you offer to suck a guy's dick, something bad's gonna happen somewhere else.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. There's probably a bunch of like sex theory out there or something. Yeah. But I mean, it is kind of important to your brain, I guess. It's like the whole like procreation.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's probably I mean, that's one of the most important things that your brain is thinking about.
Yeah, sex and death, like they say.
Mm-hmm. All right, hey man, thank you so much for calling in.
Right, thanks for having me. You know,
of course,
it was nice.
Good to hear from you.
I'm a big fan of the show. Bye, I guess. Yeah, have a nice one.
Have a good one. All right, we're gonna call that for today. This is a short show. You know, we're just coming back, so you know, let's just keep it tight. I didn't do the really quick calls, but I guess I'm making up for it by doing a shorter show, if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you everyone who was listening and everyone who called in. This has been the Call-In Show. We're talking about psychosis and psychos. All the music from the stream has been from Golden Furniture, their album Lawnmower Community. The link to the Bandcamp version of this album is in the description of this video. So if you like what you've been hearing, click on that link and download that album. I think that's it. Again, chunkmonthly.gumroad.com. Check that shit out. Lots of cool stuff on there. Sending out a new comic today. So if you order it, you'll be getting it very soon. Sticker pack, high quality stickers, vinyl, laminated, all cut at Chunk HQ. Oh, on Chunk HQ. Yeah, and that's that. Thank you again for everyone who called in, and have a good night.
Stop. KDFJDG, BDJ, cause check on the phone, and with your menka. Guts and big sigh. The bugs are everywhere. 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 Don't you see the outfit? Double pump it, don't matter, man. I got this shoot a rocket and pop a mini at the same time. If you put a scar into my hand, then it's game time. Game time.